Our MJ movie reviews back again with another crime movie review of Gone Baby Gone, starring Casey Affleck, directed by his big brother Ben Affleck. Oh man, oh man, oh man! This is another underrated gem that I'm crazy about this movie. As a matter of fact, I was working at a Regal Cinemas when the film was released. I think that was 2008 when the movie came out. But I was really, really, really crazy about that film when I came out. I wasn't very familiar with Casey Affleck. I had kind of seen him here and there, but I was kind of attracted to the movie, obviously, because Morgan Freeman and Ed Harris, who veteran great character actors. And I didn't realize until, I think after I had seen it, or actually when I was watching it, I realized that Ben Affleck had directed it. But this is and I didn't realize that I think this movie is based on a novel, but this is a very smooth, well thought out, occasionally clunky child kidnap thriller. And it tells the story of kind of this ratchet chick from Boston. Her daughter gets kidnapped, and her sister-in-law, played by Ed Harris's real wife, calls upon a young group of private detectives to investigate, hopefully help with finding her daughter. A police officer, a police detective who helps out with the case, or really they're helping out them, is Ed Harris and John Ashton from Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2 and Some Kind of Wonderful. Oh man, Morgan Freeman plays the police captain of those two guys. It's just such a great movie. What I really enjoy about this movie is one of the things that Ben Affleck did with Good Will Hunting. They all collaborated, him and Matt Damon, to write that script, was just the authenticity of how Boston feels. I have never been to Boston, but I have met people who are from Boston, and they very much kind of do have that attitude, you know what I mean? And I can't really do their accent, the way they talk. I can't do that. I can't do a Boston accent, but they just got that really cool accent, and they really do have like a very take no prisoners just kind of attitude, man. They're very they seem to be very tough folks, and also very religious people. I think a lot of that city, there's a lot of churches and stuff, and I've never been to Boston, but this is kind of just from things that documentaries and stuff I've seen on TV, but I really love the authentic Boston, Massachusetts feel that the movie has to it. And I love how all the characters in the movie just feel so grounded and real. And Casey Affleck really feels like a very young detective. And his wife, played by Michelle Monaghan, True Detective Season 1, Sleepless, bunch of whole other good movies that she's been in. But they really feel like a really young and up-and-coming couple who really, not so much that they're trying to prove anything, but just really want to just do their due diligence to help out with this case and find this child. Ed Harris, John Ashton, you can't ask for any better guys to play some grizzled, hard detectives. Ed Harris that man is scary. He's scary. And when Ed Harris, and although Ed Harris is aging, he's getting up there in age, but I'm telling you, man, when Ed Harris turns on that intensity, he's just badass. And to have his partner be John Ashton from Beverly Hills Cop, who also is very intense. The last couple roles I've seen him in, last couple years, I haven't really seen him been able to play roles where he turns on his intensity. But John Ashton very much has that kind of man, tough attitude about him too, just like Ed Harris. And then Morgan Freeman, who is just this very elegant, kind of controlled, stoic kind of personality. But what I also like about Morgan Freeman is, and again, Morgan Freeman is another actor who hasn't been able to really play up his tough side like he did in his earlier roles, like Lean on Me and Street Smarts and things like that. But this year he's a little bit more relaxed, but I would have liked if he would have been able to turn up that old school Morgan Freeman Lean on Me esque, street smart esque kind of person. Now he sprinkles it in there a little bit, but he doesn't go full fledged old school young Morgan Freeman. But to have him be the police captain, you just know this man has got everything under control. You just know it. And Amy, what's her name? Amy Ryan, who plays the mother of the kidnapped daughter, she plays this ratchet, junkie, street hoe to the T. I mean, she just plays it to the T. It is so hyper realistic to how women who are like that treat their children, and that's how they are. They neglect their children. They neglect their kids, leave them with whoever, and they go out and get men, whoever. They sleep around, they're promiscuous, they do drugs. There isn't a care in the world other than that person right there who they look at in the mirror every day. They only care about themselves, and it shows that she doesn't really pay any attention until her daughter goes missing. So essentially, she's not going to be a parent until her kid is near death, possible death, And the way the story, the mystery, because, the whole thing is the kid alive? Is the kid not? That's what you're trying to find out. So the way the mystery kind of moves and connects the dots, how they do their investigation, it's movie book investigation style stuff. But it's fun. It's really fun. It also, too, the movie also has that theme running throughout it of, child abuse, child mistreatment, child neglect, molestation of children. It's a very uncomfortable through line that runs through the film. And you can really appreciate movies that are willing to tackle a subject matter like this. I feel the way they do it in this film is very classy. You know what I mean? It touches on the things that are uncomfortable directly, but it does not cross the line into being filthy and kind of making you feel like you're a participant in that sort of behavior. So it lets you know what's happening, but it doesn't go too far with it, which I really appreciate. I think Ben Affleck did a fantastic job with that. And Ben Affleck is a great director. Earlier in Ben Affleck's career, back in the Bennifer days, Geely, I was not, the number one Ben Affleck guy back then. Especially when he was doing Reindeer Games and Sum of All Fears. I just the only work that I really liked that he did back at that time when he was an actor was Changing Lanes with Samuel L. Jackson. I thought he was really good at that time. But now that Ben Affleck has grown, he's gotten real far away from that stuff. He's doing character-driven pieces, and he's just a great director. He's an awesome director. I didn't get to see that last gangster movie he made, but I heard some mixed things about it. And, also, too, I think Ben Affleck has grown as an actor. I thought he was fantastic in Batman vs. Superman. I mean, I like that movie. I know some people really hate it, but as far as I'm concerned, I thought he was a great psychotic sociopath Batman on the edge. I thought he was great in that role. But back to what I was saying, the movie really handles that issue very well. And also what I love is how the movie really alludes to that childhood abuse, neglect, and mistreatment is a lot more common than any of us really want to admit. I think any single one of us who are watching this video, I know I have many of family and friends who have been abused, mistreated, violated in their lives and have a lot of trauma. I have many of family and friends who have been violated like that. And it's unfortunately, it is a lot more common than any of us want to admit. Thank God that has never happened to me in my life. But there are people who are very close to me who that has happened to. And also kind of when I worked in psychology and kind of the social services stuff, like when I was in college, I talked with many of people, and I still to this day meet many of people who tell me their stories of being, abused, sexually abused, mistreated as children. And also I love, and I will hands down say my favorite scene in this movie is, I'm not going to give away anything to anybody who hasn't seen the movie, but Ed Harris has a moment when he's talking with Casey Affleck. And every single one of Ed Harris' scenes in this movie are dynamite, except for something that comes later on in the movie, a twist that I don't particularly like, because I don't like what it does to his character. But outside of that, everything post-twist, Ed Harris is just, man, he's just giving it like Ed Harris always does. And there's this scene where a murder happens. And basically, Ed Harris, a murder happens, person is feeling guilty about it. And, the person goes, hey, they says that, God and my priest says that if I feel shame, what I did was wrong. And Ed Harris turns it up. But this is the scene. This scene really states what the whole movie is about. Do you people who hurt children, grown adults who hurt children, whether it be neglect them, sexually molest them, murder them, beat them, whatever, does that give you the right to cross that line and take their life and kill them, or take their kid away from them against their will? That's the question that this movie kind of leaves you with. I have my own personal feelings about that. Knowing people who have been victims of abuse, sexual abuse, and what it has done to them emotionally in their lives years into their adulthoods, grown adults. I'm not going to get into that stuff, but I will say my opinion on it might lean a little bit more Ed Harris's way. But I think Ed Harris and Casey Affleck, they both have a good counterbalance in the scene. What is right? You know what I mean? What decision do you make when it comes to childhood abuse, neglect, murder, whatever? What decision is right in dealing with the perpetrator who does these things? Who knows? But that scene presents the question. And also it leaves Casey Affleck with a decision that he's going to have to make sometime in the film. And pretty much he's going to have to deal with the consequences of that. Ed Harris is a mirror of Casey Affleck once he gets older. So the movie leaves you with that question. What decision do you make? What is the right thing to do in this situation when it comes to this issue? That is what I really most loved about this movie. And I think Ed Harris's intensity in that scene really exemplifies this issue of child mistreatment, Very good scene. That's hands down my favorite scene in the entire movie. And when Casey Affleck looks at Ed Harris and he goes, and that was the right thing, and Ed Harris he does his Ed Harris thing and he goes, effing A, and he just, complete conviction, man. I just love it, man. It's just a great scene, man. I just love it. And when Ed Harris does that, you feel it, man. And I love that kind of acting. When an actor says something and you look in their eyes and you mean it. You know what I mean? Ed Harris, completely believable. I would buy that man as a hardcore grizzled detective. Anyway, I don't even believe Ed Harris is an actor. I really think that man has been a detective for real. This is a great movie, man. Like I said, kind of issues with it is that maybe it kind of has some red herring, false endings, false stops and starts. narrations that kind of awkwardly come in and go. I kind of had an issue with that. And like I said, I had an issue with a couple of last minute twists towards the end, which kind of made me feel a little bit differently about some characters early in the movie. I didn't particularly like that part of it. But I will say, before we get to some later on twists in the movie, I think this movie is excellent. Solid 8.5 out of 10. If you guys have never seen Gone Baby Gone, give it a shot. Great performances, great thriller mystery, and also brings up a very important issue. An issue that's important to me personally. That's why I like the movie. And an issue that I think more movies should be made about this kind of thing, you know? But that's my review of Gone Baby Gone. Thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video, leave comments down below, and don't forget to ding-a-ling-ling-ling, hit that bell. And let's talk about Gone Baby Gone. This is just a great movie. I really wish this would have done more business when it came out. I think it did okay, but I really wish it would have made more money. But I'm gonna be back with more cop thriller genre movies, guys. I'm having a great time watching these films. So I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna hit you guys with an obscure one next, and then I'm gonna hit some more traditional picks. And then I'm going to maybe hit you all with kind of ones where the audience is going to be half and half. Then I'm going to hit you with ones that you probably never even heard of. So RMJ Movie Reviews, I'll see you guys soon.